right. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Citizens Advisory Council meeting, April 22nd, 2021. I am going to call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone who has come to the meeting tonight. Real quick, would someone like to lead us in an opening prayer? And I'll jump at once. Okay.
I get
I'll tell you
it.
what.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
All right.
Let's pray. Father in heaven, we honor you. We bless you for this time. Thank you for this evening. We ask that you be with us as we go forward. We just honor you again for all that we do, all that's coming forth. In Jesus' name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right. First, we'll start out with roll call. We'll just go down the line, see who we have on the line. We've got Jim Bronner.
Yep.
We've got Willie Davis.
Yes, here.
Okay. We've got Clodagh McSweeney.
I am here.
We've got Jessica.
Here.
We have Mr. Warren Boone.
Present.
We have Mr. Orrell Henry.
Here.
And we have Donald Belton.
Present.
All right, excellent. And then also on the line, we do have our community development team. We've got Michael McNair. We've got Michelle McNair. We've got the Nina Wilson and Alicia Doolin. All right, excellent. So does everyone have a copy of the agenda?
Yes, we do.
Very good. And we'll go to the minutes. I do believe that Michelle had sent out the minutes for September. Did everyone get a chance to look at those minutes for our September 2020 meeting?
September?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that was the last one.
Everyone get a chance to look at that?
I did.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Well, I'll give you guys a chance to look at it if you haven't.
I've looked at it.
Okay. So do we have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Yes. I move that we accept the minutes as presented from our September meeting.
This is Jessica Wynn. I
second
second it. That works too.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second. I will do this a different way today. Do we have any objections, any nays? All right, motion passes. Okay,
I want to make a comment on the minutes, if you don't mind, Chair.
yes, sir.
It was very well written. Just wanted to give a shout out to Alicia and those that put the minutes together. Very concise, very well put together, and it was easy to follow along.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Orrell. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move to old business first. And we received the CDBG CV updates. And hopefully everyone had a chance to look at those and see where the agencies, where they are year to date. Does anyone have any questions in regards to those updates?
I don't. I'm good.
I don't have any questions either.
I did that as well.
Okay.
I'm good as well.
All right, excellent. And so again, if you guys look at these, there are some activities that are still going on. And so I think they'll be going on throughout the rest of the year. So if anyone has, any questions, or if you're able to get out and see these agencies or visit them, I do recommend going out, even though we're still in the pandemic. They still are doing some great work, and hopefully we'll be out of this pandemic by this year. But I just want to say those reports look pretty good to me. So I like what they're doing, and I hope we can continue to support them in all their activities.
Robert, I have just a quick question. There was two that I noticed, the YMCA and the mental health associates at the Triad. I didn't think that they got funded, and there's a note beside that says final contract pending. And I'm sorry, it's probably something I just don't remember, but when were they funded?
You may be looking at the CDBG.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because
I am.
those are going to be different from the CDBG CVs.
Okay. Yes, that's right. I am.
Okay. You almost had me on that one, Claude. I was looking.
I'm just keeping you sharp,
Oh, you're good.
Good one.
You're good. Okay, then. Thank you, Claudia. That moves us into our next action item with the CDBG 2021 updates. And with that question, I want to say mental health did get some funding. Is that correct, Michelle?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
The Mental Health Associates of the Triad, they did receive funding, correct?
Yeah, Mental Health, Housing Authority, and the YWCA was the last ones that you guys funded
Mm-hmm.
after everybody else was funded. So you're not going to see very much from them because their contracts are still pending. Either they have them and they're signing them, or they have sent them back and they have gone through the system. And we're just waiting for the city portion of it to be signed.
But when were they approved? And
It might have been the time that you were not with us, Clodagh, but
okay.
The group, we had extra funding.
Yeah, I do remember.
And then the group decided to just go down the list and fund the ones that they could. And that's what we ended up doing. We made some phone calls to some. And then for the ones that wanted to accept whatever the funding was, then they were able to get funded.
Okay. All right. I'm glad that they can get funded.
Okay. So did everyone else have a chance to look at them? Do they have any questions or comments?
I'm good.
All right, excellent, excellent. And I also want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that, remember, these are the agencies, that we've decided that we're going to fund in High Point. They're all doing great work. We do want to keep in mind that, during this pandemic, there have been some challenges, and these agencies, they've done pretty good. Just getting the resources to the citizens of High Point. They've been able to still continue with these programs. So when I look at it, I see some successes that we've had, and, hopefully we can continue these because we still have a lot of people that are needing services, needing support, and these agencies are doing great work. So I just want to commend everyone for the work that they did on these proposals that came through and for the grants that we were able to get out. So I want to thank each and every one of you personally for the great work that you did there.
And Rob, I was gonna just say, you talked about people getting out and look, to go to the agencies and see what they're doing. Anytime someone wants to do that, if they could let us know, and we will make arrangements for you guys to do that. If somebody wants to go out and visit a agency, we'll just, give them a call and see whenever the program is being done, if it's not already completed, or if you just want to go see what the agency is doing, even though the program is completed, just let us know and we'll set that up for you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And I think we'll be getting another update towards, what's that, June, Michelle? Because
They'll
these-
do a final report in June for the ones, the CDBG CV grantees. We'll do a final update in June, and what you will probably get is not a report from them, but you will probably get that summary report that you have.
Okay,
Basically telling you that, this is how much money you guys are allotted to the agency, and this is how much money was spent by the agency.
and will that end the CDBG CV grants at that time, at that point?
For those that are complete, yes. For those that want to be extended again, that may happen.
Okay. And that extension, does it come in written form?
Yes. What happens is they will write to us and let us know that they're looking for an extension. And in most cases, we already know, because Alicia is monitoring their spending as she gets monthly reports from the agencies. And they will send that to us in a written form asking for an extension. And once that is approved, then we will end up doing an amendment to the contract.
Okay. All right, excellent. All right, so again, I do want to mention, everyone's hard work in getting these funds out. I know 2020 was a challenge for a lot of us, but we were able to do the job that was required of us, and I want to say we did a great job. So thanks to each and every one of you. Okay. Our next agenda item are the neighborhood association updates. Do we have any updates? Anything from you guys at Oakview, Jim? Anything new happening?
Oh, we've got all kinds of things happening. I just can't elaborate on a lot of it. We've got tons of exciting things, I think, and we've all been working hard on putting it all together. And Oakview is going to be a pretty interesting place in the next year.
Okay, now you guys still meeting in person, or are you doing virtual meetings?
We met virtually, we met by Zoom, but that's the last one. Next month we'll be meeting in person.
Okay, excellent. And I don't know if the neighborhood associations have all started meeting again. I know you guys are meeting, and I know that Washington Street is meeting, but I'm not sure if anyone else has started their meetings back up or not.
Well, Washington Street is meeting virtually. They have not started to meet in person at this point. London Wood is meeting via phone call. They have not, well, I take that back. Last month, they met just a small group in person because they thought they had some new members, and they wanted to meet the new members in person. So they met on the outside, but the new members didn't show up. And so they're going back to what they were doing before, and that's the regular phone call.
Okay.
But none of the other neighborhoods are meeting at this point. Not virtually or meeting. I think with Mr. Mingo's group, they sort of meet a little bit around the garden. Whoever comes to the garden, they talk that way, but not like the regular meeting.
Are there any plans for the neighborhoods to start meeting, say this summer, in the fall? Have there been any discussion about that?
I don't know. I'll find out. I can ask that question on Monday night.
Okay.
Because I think they'll meet based on how comfortable they feel as coming together as a group. And so that call will be on them.
Okay.
I don't think we ever stop meeting.
Do what?
I don't think we ever stop meeting. We continue to meet
You guys had planning meetings, Jim. You didn't have regular meetings in the beginning.
Right. Well, that's still a meeting.
A regular meeting.
Well, I want to encourage everyone, if they could, to make as many of these meetings as we can, even though there are not that many. We still want to try to make them, to see what concerns are out in the communities. I know there are still the neighborhood leaders meetings that take place, if I'm not correct. Is that right, Michelle?
Yes, it is. We've been meeting ever since the pandemic started. The only month we didn't meet was last March.
Mm-hmm. So, I would like to encourage everyone to attend the meetings because, again, as representatives of the Citizens Advisory Council, one of our jobs is to make sure that, we are speaking with the people. They're giving us, whatever feedback they have, and we bring it back to this committee and we share it with City Council. So as soon as those things ramp up, I want to see us getting out, making sure that we are a part of what's going on in this city and making sure we represent CAC like we've always done. So great job there, guys. Next on the agenda item are the agency tours. At our last meeting, we spoke about anyone who's interested in touring the agencies that we funded. There was some discussion about virtual versus in person. And so today I wanted to get a tally to see who's interested and what agencies we would like to tour.
I'd be interested, Robin, doing a couple if there were some. I'd rather it was in person for some of these nonprofits if we could do a couple of small groups. I'd definitely like to visit Leslie's house if I could.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm
Sunday.
also
Sorry.
interested. I'm also interested and would like to do it in person if we can manage like a small group or something. I would be in favor of that as well. And I think Leslie's house would be cool. I'm really interested in any of the ones that we've granted, at least.
The Ark is an interesting place to go.
Yeah, I drive by that every day. Michelle, can I ask you the mental health associates of the Triad, is there like a physical place for that too?
Yeah, they're actually located in one of the neighborhoods. Their office is actually located in Hollow Mills on the southwest side of High Point.
Okay, I'd like to go there if I could.
But their project is not actually done in that building. I think their project is actually done at the courthouse with the inmates.
Just sounds like a very interesting project. I mean, I just wonder how I could, learn more about it.
Anyone else interested in attending a tour?
I am also interested. I just don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I just need to see something.
Okay.
I would like to express an interest in attending likewise. What I would suggest for me personally, without my input, I would like to see it scheduled, and I will try to adjust my schedule to whatever that might be. I don't want to drive it in any way. My circumstances may not allow me to attend. So whatever is agreed upon, and I get that time and date, I will try to adjust my schedule to be present also. Thank you.
And that is a yes for me as well. I'm interested in all of them. Any visit tours that is scheduled, I'm interested to go.
All right, so we've got right now 5 individuals, and I will add my name to that list as well. And I think we can work with Michelle to see when the first availability is. I'm assuming it's going to be probably in the summer, maybe June or July, August, if that's okay with the group. Hopefully by then, the pandemic will have slowed down a bit. Maybe we can have, better access to these agencies. But my suggestion, I would like to see it done sometime in the summer. Because I know the grants will be coming up again. I think around June or July is when the next cycle starts. So if we can jump in there in the summertime, I think it might be great. And so we can get with Michelle and see, which agencies we want to visit. We've got Leslie's House and the Arc. And so if anyone has any other interest in any other agency, just send an email, let us know which ones they are, and then we'll see how we can get that set up.
And
Hey,
if you're good, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
you go
Around.
ahead, Michelle.
No, I was gonna say, if you're looking at starting when the next grant ramp starts, you probably don't want to do anything until August, because July,
Okay.
they are not really getting started. I mean, they are getting started, but it's just a startup. And if you want to see the program in, going past the startup, you might not want to do it until August. Now, if you want to see some of the groups that's there now, then we can schedule you for June, because the 2020-21 grant cycle is not ending until September.
Would that include both CDBG CV
No,
agencies, or
CVs
just the regular
in-
CDB?
for the most part, if no one asks for an extension, the CV grants in June.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, group. I definitely, again, want to make sure that we are in the community. So with us touring these agencies, I think it's a great idea. We'll be setting up a schedule, and as soon as we get it, we'll get that out to everyone, and then we'll get our signups and go from there. Okay. All right. So moving next to Community Development Week. We had a Community Development Week, April the 5th through the 9th. It was a 5-day event. We had guest speakers, and we had a few of our own CAC members who were moderators. I want to tip my hat to Michelle and her team. They did a fantastic job putting it together. And I also want to tip my hat to my moderators. That would be Aurel and Jessica. We did a great job representing the CAC, and we had great discussions. We learned a lot. We had discussions about the food banks. We had discussions about affordable housing. We had, different subjects on different days. So great topics. We had a great week, and, I just wanted to highlight some of the individuals that were involved. And if they want to say a few words, the floor is yours.
Oh, I'll just jump in. I just wanted to say that each day, I believe, were very impactful. I had went back and looked at each day, and I was able to pick up on some things I didn't hear before. One of the things that I believe was very informative was there were things that you think you know, but the people that presented the information, they were able to actually bring not only figures and facts, but a face, to their organizations. And I think that's what made a more of an impact to what they're doing in our community of High Point. One of the things that I've been hearing, which I'm grateful for this CD week, is there were a lot of folks in our area that did not know that such programs existed, or didn't know to what extent these organizations actually worked with, actual neighbors in our neighborhood. And so, I was just blown away with, the week itself and the information that was shared. And I'm definitely just more now, proud of what these organizations that we have here that's doing for our neighbors and what's going on here in our community.
Mr. Chair, if I could add a comment, certainly I want to certainly support the hard work and effort the staff put in. They did a great job. But I would encourage all of you to look at those videos, because most of those agencies are agencies that have appeared or will appear in our action plans. In many cases, they're agencies that you really don't have much interaction with, and it helps you better understand what do they actually do, and help you associate a name, an organization with a listing you see on a spreadsheet. You really get a lot of insight as to the diversity of partnerships that we have. All those people that participated gave their time freely. I think Michelle would tell you that she didn't have any difficulty really assembling the folks once the plan was laid out. They were all anxious to participate. So we have a very broad group of partners that we work with. Like I said, in many cases you never see them, but now you can see them and you get a better feel for what's behind that program description that you might see in the action plan. So I would encourage you to take a look at that, and you'll get a much better in-depth understanding of all the activities we're involved in.
All right. Thank you, Michael. And, to add to that, I also want to say with CD Community Development Week, this is a chance for us to highlight some of the accomplishments of community development in High Point. And, it's also mentioned during that week that this is the time that we reach out to our elected officials, those individuals on the state level and on the national level, just to let them know how effective this program is. Because these are dollars that are awarded to the city for areas like affordable housing and homelessness. And so we do want to use this time to, showcase what we're able to do, how we're able to be impactful in High Point, and, how those dollars are being used. So if, we ever get a chance, you can speak to your elected officials, tell them how community development, has impacted the city of High Point. So I just thought that was a neat part of the week. And it's one of those things that I myself personally have already written one letter. I mean, shame on me for just one, but I've written one to, my local official, let them know this is how much, community development has done for High Point. And again, I tip my hat to you guys at CD, Community Development, Michelle, Alicia, Michael, Thanina. I mean, you guys are just awesome week in and week out. So I thank you very much for that.
Thank you. We're just trying to make a difference.
And that's what it's about. And it has happened. All right. So we've taken care of old business. We're going to move to Mr. McNair at Community Development. He has an update for us.
Okay. Last meeting, Jim had asked if I could review with you, give you the background on the Center for Community Progress and all that activity. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two presentations. One tonight is part one. The next one will be at your next meeting. So tonight, I'm going to kind of start from the beginning. See if I can find my presentation. Oh. Just a second, guys. Let me find my presentation. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, I think we got it here. I'll do it this way then. Okay. Our interaction with the Center for Community Progress actually started in late 2014 when they reached out to us and invited us to participate in this training that we went to in March of 2015. We assembled a group of people and we actually went to Boston University, Harvard University. We were in Boston.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah,
your slide presentation is not up.
really.
Trying to figure it out if it's just me or not. Okay.
Let's try it again.
Always saw with your file.
Mike, bring up the presentation first and then share it.
See it now?
We do, but it's not in presentation mode.
I know. I know.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So anyhow, a group of us went up to Harvard. Was the city manager, the city attorney. We had a council member go with us. I went. We had a consultant go with us, and I believe Dorothy Dora went with us. So we went up there for a week, and a couple months later, they had a Reclaiming Vacant Properties conference. Now, the Center for Community Progress is totally about blight elimination and reclaiming vacant properties, and so we went up there for that conference. It was about a 3-day conference, and I made a presentation to council the following month when we got back. So this is the presentation I'm going to give you. Basically, we talked about prevailing issues and the remedies and the tools and next steps. This is a shot of the opening meeting room. There were about 1,200 people at this conference from all over the country. It was really exciting to be there because, like I said, we're all there for one reason, and that was learning how to reclaim vacant properties. So we're in Detroit. The mayor came in and made some remarks and got us started. There were 55 sessions. And let me think who went. We had a team that went up. Let's see, we had 4 council members go on that trip. I think Jeff Golden went, Latimer Alexander went. Of course, I was there. Jason, I believe, went. Jason Ewing went. And the 4th person escapes me at the moment. But there were enough sessions we were all able to spread out. So there was all these sessions over a 3-day period. You can see the different topics. You know, a lot of interest in code enforcement. And some of the stuff you'll see, we actually brought back and tried to implement some of this. The next thing they talked about was indicators of distress in neighborhoods. And so they were using examples of Detroit, New Orleans, Cleveland, and Youngstown. And they were talking about how the percent of vacant properties were indicators of distress in your community. So if you have a lot of vacant properties, your tax values are going down, you're having blighted situations. And so that's something that was kind of driven home to all that were there. They got into specific cities. They talked about Flint having almost 20,000 properties that needed to be eliminated or demolished. They looked at Detroit. Driving into Detroit, we were coming in from the airport. Detroit looked like a war zone as we were coming in. And once you got downtown, it was really nice. But you can see that they were doing a lot of demolition up there. Dayton, this is Dayton, Ohio. You can see by this map, they were saying that 2465 neighborhoods over 25% vacant. That's a lot of vacancies, guys. And so you can imagine one of the things we took away is that we have some issues, but we didn't have issues anywhere approaching a lot of these cities. Baltimore has like 99 code enforcement officers, and they're constantly addressing vacant lots and buildings. Then they started talking about remedies. One of the things they talked about was take with some of these properties is here in Louisville, they had a barbecue park. They created a barbecue park on Muhammad Ali Boulevard. We had Detroit was actually offering people lots. I believe if you had a vacant lot next to you, they'd sell it to you for $100, free and clear. So they're trying to get people to take over the lots, own the lots, either build on them, do a garden, or just cut the grass. But it was, for them, it was cheaper to do that. This was, I believe this is Jackson. I'm not sure if this is, must be Jackson, Mississippi. Again, it's another garden. People do a lot of gardens and farms on vacant lots. And you kind of probably, if you think about it and look around, we have a lot of gardens that are popping up on vacant lots. And some of that came from this. Patrick Harmon was up there too. This bistro box in St. Louis, I believe somebody, I don't know if they used I don't know how they did it. Yeah, shipping container. So they used a shipping container to create a restaurant. There was some, if you recall, there was some discussion with the Duwani project about using shipping containers to do small businesses in High Point. New Orleans, a lot of community gardens. Pretty similar to what we're doing with Growing High Point, taking city property and making it available for gardens. Then they're looking at Trenton, New Jersey. They're looking at the concentration of abandoned properties. And so they developed a database so they know where they are. St. Louis is doing a lot of urban agriculture again. It seems to be a pretty effective use of vacant properties for a lot of cities, and we're seeing that it's effective as well. Detroit was doing some GIS mapping. One of the things that they would do is they would send teams of people out with iPads or just cell phones, smartphones, and they would go out to different addresses and take pictures of it and feed it back into the GIS, so they had a real sort of an updated picture of what was going on where and what, not from top down, but from the front, to get a sensing of what the neighborhood looked like. Youngstown had this neighborhood preservation program where they were offering, I believe they were offering grants and stuff to repair properties and sell them to people. That's something we kind of thought about. We don't see that level of foreclosures in High Point, but from time to time, people do buy those. Most of the foreclosures we get are vacant lots, but from time to time, people do buy properties that have houses on them. Detroit had this program. The 0% home repair program. This is a program where the Bank of America was involved. I came back and immediately called Bank of America in Charlotte, called the headquarters and asked them if that program was available in North Carolina. And they told me, no, that's in Detroit. It's a special program in Detroit. But basically, the way that program worked, if you lived in certain neighborhoods or census tracts, you could get a 0% interest home loan, repair your house. It said it was very successful. So, you hear, again, a lot of this stuff we came back with. So you hear us talking about a lot of data-driven stuff, strategic code enforcement, demolition, things of that nature. I can tell you that the idea of doing a core city redevelopment fund and tripling the number of code enforcement officers was, I think, born at that conference and at that work and at the training that we had back in March. The city manager and council came back and said, we need to do this. And that summer, when the new budget came out, was when they began the redevelopment fund, is when we tripled the number of enforcement officers so that we could start doing blight elimination. And council has been on point with that since then. You probably aware, if you've watched any council meetings, first of every month, we have a strategic update with council to tell them what our progress is on code enforcement and demolitions and the like. So we actually have a report that they review and discuss before the meeting starts. So when we left there, we had these milestones, and we put a lot of this stuff into play. And one of the things that we did was we worked with the Center for Housing and Community Studies at UNCG to develop a heat map. You've probably seen it before, to analyze our neighborhoods and housing markets, to give us an idea of areas that we need to look at more closely. Because I don't know if you realize it or not, but the core city is about 12 square miles and has 30,000 people in it. And so part of the big issue is trying to decide, where do you go? Where do you get your bang for your buck? So a lot of this stuff was gotten underway. We actually executed a contract with Center for Community Progress to do what they call a technical assistance program, where over the next couple of years, we actually had a series, and Jim, I believe, participated in some of those. We had a series of workshops to analyze what our needs were in the community, and I will cover that with you at the next meeting. That's the next presentation. So that was a presentation I made to council. You can see, this is one of the classrooms. You can see Latimer sitting there. I don't know if you can see it if I put my hand on the screen, but Latimer's sitting there, right there. This is Jeff Golden. I'm in there somewhere hiding, but I don't know where I am. But each one of the classes were like that. You'd have 30, 40, 50 people in a room, and you can see there are not a lot of empty chairs in there. A lot of interest. They have these conferences every year and a half. Of course, they stopped because of COVID. We were lucky that when we went to our training in Boston, it just so happened that the conference popped up 2 months later. So then we also went to a conference a year and a half later. After that, we went to Milwaukee for a conference, and we also went to Baltimore. And so, and we actually one year had, we had council lining up. I want to go. I want to go to the next one. You sign me up. And so we'd always have 3 or 4 council members going to the conference, because it's just a lot of information that they could access. You rarely, when you go to any kind of conference, there's very little information on blight elimination and community development or neighborhood revitalization. And this was a conference where that's all it was about. And you had people from across the country. I'm sure there were some people that were out of the country. You had subject matter experts, and it was just a lot of tremendous amount of information. So we brought a lot of that back and began to implement it. That's all I got on that particular one. If you have any questions of me, I'll be glad to speak to them. I know I kind of went through that kind of quickly, but there's a lot of information there.
No, thanks, Mike. That was good. That was good. That was good. I remember me and Jerry were involved from the beginning, trying to get the scholarship to get the Center for Community Progress even to do their, come and do. And I remember being in a bunch of those different workshops.
Yeah, they actually had some smaller regional workshops. I know I went to Indianapolis to do a presentation at one. But we stayed engaged with them, and as part of that technical assistance process, we had a report card, you might say. We had a list of things that we said we would do. And every 3 or 4 months, we would have a phone interview with them, and we would have to tell them in writing, what did you do? What's the status? Are you going to accomplish this? And it was really helpful, and it really led to a lot of different things. If you recall, the city started putting nuisance liens and demolition liens on property tax bills. Well, that came directly from our interaction with them on that. That was something that we frankly had not, one of the things they pointed out to us, well, you have all these outstanding liens that you're not collecting, because what we used to do is we put a lien on the property and just wait for the property to transfer. And they pointed out, they did the analysis, said, well, we looked at all of these liens, and the property owners' taxes are current. A lot of them, the taxes are current. They're just choosing not to pay you. so that's when they suggested that we got with the county to work through that. That's when they recommended that put it on the tax bill, and that's what the county does now. And so we're now probably collecting a couple $100,000 a year from liens that we would not have gotten otherwise. Any other questions about it? I still have some other stuff for you.
Are there any workshops planned for this year or next year?
I think they may have a virtual coming up. I'd have to check and see, but I think they may have a virtual coming up. We're on their email list. We're constantly getting emails from them, but really because of the pandemic, nobody's really been kind of looking at that kind of stuff. But we do want to maintain that relationship with them. And there's actually a report that they did that be glad to share with you if you'd want us to send it to you.
I thought that was on your website, that report.
It might be. It should be. Probably is on our website. Yeah, it'll be up. It'll say Center for Community Progress. I think it was dated 2017 or something like that. So a lot of good stuff there. Well, I'm going to move on then if nobody has any questions. Wanted to talk to you briefly about the American Rescue Plan that you've heard and read about. I don't have a lot of detailed information, but I can tell you that High Point is supposed to receive approximately $23.4 million from the U.S. Treasury. However, those funds are going to be split up in a lot of different, we haven't gotten the guidance yet, but we think the funds are going to be split up in a lot of different categories. And so what we don't know is, how much you can spend here versus how much you can spend there. We do know there's going to be continued emergency rental, utility assistance money There's also going to be a home allocation of, we know we're going to get $2 million in home funds that are going to be, direction is to create permanent housing for the homeless. So permanent affordable housing for the homeless. So we know that, but we still haven't gotten anything in writing yet. I would actually, Mr. Chair, since Cyril's not here, I'll drift into council updates if that's okay.
Well, I think he is.
Mike, I'm here.
He is here. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Cyril. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
You know, I started not to say nothing just to see what you were going to say first. And then I could have just said amen to everything.
I yield the floor to you, sir.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut in. Did you have any more updates?
No, I just finished the presentation. I was just going to talk to him about the application for the earmark funds. That kind of really, you could talk about it or I can talk about it, but.
Are you talking about what we submitted maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks ago?
Which you approved Monday. You know, we're submitting an application to the congressman's office to get an earmark of funding for Open Door for the homeless.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. I actually, what I'll say is let's hold off on that, Mike. Yeah, let's hold up on that. I don't think that's ready yet. But I do appreciate you bringing that up. Chairman Sims, it's great to see you. It's great to see everyone else on the Zoom call. Before I forget, I wanted to say I'm very excited about y'all's potential visit to some of the agencies in the community. Depending on when it gets scheduled, I'd love to join y'all, even if it's not for every single one of the site visits, at least for one or two. I'd love to just attend. Although I get the chance to work with and get familiar with a number of agencies in our community, I'd still love to visit. And if that's all right, Chairman Sims and the rest of the CAC body. With regards to council updates and with Willie Davis, I see you turned your camera on, man. I want you to be careful there. We need you to get on back home safely, okay?
We got it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. We need you to get on back safely. I don't know what kind of cargo you got carrying, but get on back safely. With regards to council updates, you know, council's doing a number of things. First, I guess I'll start with maybe some economic development points that may have to do with downtown revitalization. We approved, after a public hearing, we approved some incentives to go to a new company. And I say new, they've been around a few years. So in some ways, they're a young company, but they're doing phenomenally well. And they're actually taking the brave and bold step of building out, scaling out. Part of that includes them moving to a new location. And they've chosen a location in downtown High Point, which, as you all know, is so important for the city's strategic plan for revitalization. And they're going to activate an older space. And we're just so looking forward to that taking place. They happen to be doing their work in conjunction with a lot of other companies, a lot of other developers and folks who are championing the cause of moving our downtown forward. Maybe staying in the same vein of economic development, I'll give you an update on the High Point Equity Project. Many of you all may be familiar with it, but it's the project where we launched sort of the fundraising campaign last fall on the campus of High Point University, where Dr. Cubain and the university announced that they were donating $500,000 as a challenge gift so that we could raise the other $500,000, which would be sort of the seed, if you will, to establish the foothold of an effort that would support ultimately minority-owned and economically challenged businesses. And so we are at the process in which we're raising more money. We've been picking up partners all along the way. now in partnership, started with High Point University. There's High Point Community Foundation. There's Business High Point, Chamber of Commerce. There's County Yards. There's Guilford County Government. We've got some stuff that the city's probably going to consider on that as well. In addition to a number of conversations going on with a lot of our local institutions, we expect this summer to make the announcement about the completion of that fundraising effort. We're also very close to, I don't want to say exactly who it is, but we're very close to finalizing things with one of the vendors who's going to play probably the largest role in making the High Point Equity Project work. Going to be working boots on the ground directly with businesses who will be supported by the effort. And so we had them here recently to do a site visit, and things are going well there. We expect a big announcement about who that vendor is and that organization we'll be partnering with. And part of our discussions are that some of the boots on the ground will need to be hired, and they're looking to hire from our local population. So the good thing is that this very needed effort that many of us agree is very important for our community. Part of who will be doing that, we believe, will be some local blood, which is always great because they know the area, and they probably are going to have a lot of passion for what we're going to do here in High Point. I'll also say that many of you all know that we posted a number of job openings probably in the past several months that are being worked out and worked through. There was the posting for the new police chief, and city managers going through that process now of taking in the applications. We'll do the interviews, and we should be hearing an update really soon that'll come out to the public on who our new police chief is. So you all stay tuned over these next several days for that announcement. The hiring of the new and official economic director, that shouldn't be too far behind, maybe a couple weeks at most. As well as what we're hoping, and I can say this because it's public record, certainly that we released the job opening for the city manager some time ago. And we've been going through that process, and we feel pretty good that we're close to having something finalized and some news coming out here soon on that. So fingers crossed that everything can go over well with all that process. But we're working hard and working diligently to fill these positions because we know they're key to what our community does. I believe as far as major updates, Chairman Sims, that's the bulk of it. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have. If I left anything out, please forgive me. There's certainly a lot that's taken place these past several months that is important, but just with respect to time, I'll leave it there and save room for any questions or anything.
Don't all bombard him at once, guys. I mean, come on now, give him a break. Well, I do want to say one thing, Councilman Jefferson. We would love to have you on those agency tours. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and your participation in that will go miles with showing the participation that we have. So yeah, we definitely would love to have you there. And then also, I want to commend you and the city council on everything you guys have done over the past year. It's been a tough year for everybody, but you guys have definitely managed to, keep us running, keep us moving toward an objective of, improving High Point and getting some things done. So to the group, I just want to say to you and you guys, and please pass this along to the rest of the council. Thank you, for you guys doing your hard work. So I do want to say that. I don't have any questions myself, unless anyone else has anything to say.
If there are no questions, then I'll just make it known how much I appreciate the incredible work that everyone here is doing. Jessica, it was great seeing you the other night. We graduated from Project Board Development. Kudos on doing that. Anyone else who's unfamiliar with that program, I think Jessica graduated top of the class, right? Weren't you like valedictorian or something?
That was Leadership High Point.
Oh, wow. Well, it just the layers keep unfolding, don't they, Jessica?
They didn't
Um,
do superlatives for project board development.
Oh, I got you. I got you. So she didn't get valedictorian only because they didn't do superlatives. So just everyone knows that's the technical difference there. But no, seriously, I think it's a fantastic program and advise anyone if you're interested in serving on more committees, commissions, boards, whatever it may be. That is a phenomenal program to learn about all of the intricacies of what it is to serve, whether it's learn about the fiduciary responsibility, Robert's rules, governance, general fundraising techniques. The instructors that they have are second to none. And actually, I'm a graduate of project board development. Now, Jessica, I can't speak for your class, but we have superlatives. And I'm happy to say I was not the valedictorian, but I was amongst the number of those who graduated the year that I graduated. And in Leadership Hotline, I wasn't valedictorian either. However, I was voted most likely to be mayor. So who knows, Jessica? Maybe one day I'll catch up to you. Y'all, I'm sorry, because I know I probably joke more than I should. Y'all are my favorite commission in the whole wide world. Willie, don't tell anyone on Human Relations Commission that I said that. Y'all are my favorite commission in the whole wide world, seriously. And I appreciate all the incredible work that y'all are doing, seriously.
It'll be our secret.
And we have 99% of our board members who are graduates from project board development.
It was definitely really interesting, and I felt like it had a lot of really good resources. I learned a lot.
I actually need an advanced class.
Jim, would you take that advanced class?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Well, and there were a couple of people that said they were going to do it again just because they felt like they wanted to hear it all again.
Oh yeah. It's incredible stuff. It's incredible stuff. But Chairman Sims, thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Jefferson. Guys, we're gonna move on to new business. And then any agenda items anyone wants to add to the next meeting, which that next meeting is gonna be May 27th. I do want to at least move on the agency tours for the next meeting. So I'll be working with Michelle to see how we can put that together. So that's one item I want to see. And then if anyone else has any other items, we can definitely add those in right now. Okay. All right, so like I said, the next meeting we have scheduled for May 27th. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. And does anyone have any announcements, anything they want to share this evening with the group?
Now I've got a question for Michelle. Michelle, what's going on with that little houses deal on Hay Street?
What do you mean, what's going on with it?
I mean, I kind of drove past there the other day and it still looks the same as it did a year ago. And there hasn't been really any progress there.
From my understanding, I haven't gone by there, but from my understanding, a lot more of the houses are up now than they were last year.
But didn't they get a grant from us for a community garden?
They did, and when the houses are finished, the garden will then go in. I mean, they have pretty much pulled everything together. Pandemic really, because they lost pretty much all of their volunteers. And they're just now trying to get people back to working and doing some things with that whole concept there. But they actually, I mean, they were actually closed down because of the pandemic. Because they use a lot of volunteers to get done what they need to get done. And it put them behind, just like it put a lot of agencies and a lot of other projects behind.
I would note last update they gave us, they said they were going to be moving their tenants in starting in June of this year.
Okay, it's a cool idea, and I just it's just a shame that it's taking so long.
And Rob, I was just gonna say, for those individuals that were wanting to participate in the Great American Cleanup, it's been postponed because of the prediction of the rain on Saturday. And I sent out an email to everyone with that information on it. So when you get the opportunity to look at your emails, you can actually see the information that Rebecca sent out. So there will not be an American Cleanup this Saturday, which it was scheduled for the 24th. And I also just sent out to everybody the link to the Community Center of Community Progress Report that Mike was talking about, so you can read it at your leisure.
All right. Okay. All right. Any other announcements? Anyone has? All right. Well, I did want to also congratulate Jessica on her graduation from Project Board Development. I think they had a graduation, was that this week on Wednesday?
On Tuesday.
Tuesday. So yeah, I wanted to congratulate you.
Thanks.
I know that was a great program. I know me and Orel and Warren, Mr. Boone did it. So, congratulations. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. So if we don't have any other announcements, all hearts and minds are clear. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second? That was Mr.
Second.
Orel. Okay.
Second.
All right. And again, any opposed? All right. So everyone have a good evening. Meeting is adjourned. You guys have a great
Have a
evening.
good one.